ho, how you doing, dorks, nerds, and freaks and geeks alike? Welcome to the season finale of The Nerd Herd. And with it being the last episode, that can only mean one thing. Christmas is starting now. Shout out Phineas and Ferb. Joining me, as always, is the Captain Curtis Cady and the Heatmeister himself, Seamus Raya. How are you now, guys?
I'm good. Well, and you?
I'm so good. So good. Are you guys excited? We got a big show today.
Yes, I'm super hyped.
I think it's going to be good. And by the way, if you guys are worried about not seeing us next semester, don't. We'll be here.
You heard it here first.
That's right. No spoilers, just truth. All right, anyway, so we got a big block planned for later in the show, and we're going to kick some things off right now with an expedited data bank entry. And so we're going to start with our Captain Curtis. What do you got, big guy?
So Netflix is about to deliver a TV series for the Witcher game franchise, and I'm kind of curious about it. The games are pretty good, albeit a little excessive in the realm of RPGs. Like, there's a lot going on, a little too much for my taste, but that's just how it is sometimes. The story is very mysterious and interesting, and I'm low-key looking forward to the release and the direction the show will go compared to the games. What do you boys think? Are you interested at all or no?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I was never really like the biggest. I was never really like the biggest Witcher fan, but at the same time, it's an interesting concept, and like, I can see why. I think they're gonna take more from the books than the games, though. So I'm interested to see how like fan backlash is gonna handle that.
I think you hit on my problem with it. Is that there's too many layers to it. There's a book, then there's a game, and then you're gonna make the movie. You're doing way too much.
Show.
Right?
It's a show.
Show. Sorry,
Yes.
but the same situation. You're going visual from written text to a playable medium.
Yeah.
Like, there's the reason that we don't love everything that Star Wars does is because there's so many mediums to it, right? And I've never been attached to a Witcher game in my life.
Fair enough.
So it doesn't do anything for me.
Speaking of games that we are attached to, from my story, I would be a fool if I did not mention the new Half-Life game. Oh, I'm so excited. Starting with the Christmas miracles, Valve has finally announced a new Half-Life game with the trailer. It's about time. Now I know it's not Half-Life 3, but who knows what this may lead to. Set to be a prequel in VR, Half-Life ALYX is set to launch in March 2020. Boys, are you excited as I am?
VR.
Yeah.
I don't even have VR. I just love the idea of virtual reality. I am excited. We've been waiting for this for what, 12 years?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. So I am excited. And it is, what I'm more excited about than anything, to be honest with you, isn't the game, it's that Valve is making things again. Yes. And that's important to me.
I've never played Half-Life. I've always been very interested in it. I've just never had the opportunity or the chance to play it. But it's always been something that's been on like my, I don't want to say like bucket list, but it's on my list of things to do or consider doing. And now that they're coming out with a new one, I think this is a great opportunity for me to have my first experience with it. So I probably will, yeah.
It's a great game, and like the best way to do it though is you can get Half-Life Source, but I would recommend Half-Life Black Mesa because it's like a fan-made revamp of the original with like all updated graphics, and then Half-Life 2 is fantastic. But more on that later.
Yeah. I just get the orange box. Seriously. All right, so it's not news, but a new Star Wars movie comes out this month, guys. It's going to be a big deal. The Rise of Skywalker will supposedly be the final installment of the original movie storyline, and it's about 40 years too long of a saga. But the ending might be good. Maybe. The trailer is, as always, cryptic and as cryptic as a damaged holocron, and it doesn't really tell us anything about what's going to happen. Speculations swirl about the story, and that's about how it will end, but regardless, that's just how it goes. I'm going to be there to watch the story, though. With all the success in games and now Disney+, there might be some pressure for this feature film to succeed. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think whenever Disney, or Star Wars or whatever you want to label it as these days, whenever they come out with a product, we're always going to gravitate towards it. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm not exactly hopeful. I don't think it's going to be like amazing, this groundbreaking thing that we're going to have, but I'm pretty in on it. I'm not going to complain.
I've heard a lot of spoilers from this, and if they're true, I really, really don't want to watch it.
That's a dangerous game to play, though.
If you say a single one of them on the air right now?
No, I definitely won't. But some of them are pretty dicey.
It's still all speculation.
All right, that's it for the data bank. Expedited, I told you, it's very quick. Hey, coming up after the break, our top 5. And today, we're going to focus on our top 5 being Christmas presents that we wanted, but we never got. Stay tuned for that. We'll see you when we come back here on the Nerd Herd. I did a presentation in my media management class today about a new radio station. I should have just said we're just going to play the Nerd Herd music. Hi, Hal, welcome back. How are you? That's a lot of words for you right there. Good to hear you. It's good to hear you. It's time for the top 5.
Well, that's what you get for going off script.
That's right. It's time. Well, I wrote it. I do what I want. It's time for the top 5, and Seamus is going to kick us off. It's top 5 Christmas presents that we wanted and we never got. What broke your heart, Seamus?
Obviously, as you could tell from all of us sitting here at the table, my number 5 pick is an ugly sweater. I clearly didn't get the message. Maybe this Christmas I'll catch up. Number 4, I have the Nintendo Wii. Never got around to grabbing one, but that's all right. Half-Life 3, probably will never get it. But hey, you know what? Number 2, it's a Christmas miracle. That might feed into the rest of them. And number 1, first and foremost, the Lego train set. How could you not want one? It's motorized. It's cool. It's amazing.
What's a Christmas miracle?
You
said you wanted a Christmas miracle, like you could buy it at Target. What is a Christmas miracle?
The movie, I guess? Miracle?
The hockey movie?
No.
Miracle
oh, no,
on
Miracle.
34th
Yeah,
Street?
that's what I was thinking of. That's not what I'm going with. No, just a Christmas miracle. Like, you know, something special, spectacular
I
to happen.
put so much work into this show, and it sucks when people don't care about it as much as I do. All right, so
that's
for
not
my
true.
top 5.
Whoa, hot takes.
That hurts.
For-
That hurts.
I'm kidding.
Shake.
I'm kidding. I love Seamus. All right, for my top 5, we'll start off with the Lego Death Star set. I've always wanted one of these. I can understand why I didn't get it, because that's like 1,000 pieces in the vacuum and stuff. The next one is going to be very niche. That's not the word, to 90s kids, but Connect Six Flags sets. I wanted one so bad. Make a roller coaster in your basement. Number 3, a big old Transformers guy. I don't know how else to say it. It was just big. It was just bigger than the other ones that I wanted it, and I didn't get it. Number 2 was slot car racers. I still want this. As an adult, I will have slot car racers that run around my house. And then the number 1, Luke's Landspeeder Power Wheels. Right? It was Luke's Landspeeder, but a Power Wheels.
Yeah.
And I wanted that so hard, and I didn't get it. I was too big. I was just too big a kid.
Yeah, no, that land speeder was cool. It was one of the coolest things that was out in the early 2000s. But for my top 5, I'm going to go with number 5 was Soccer Boppers.
Dang.
Now, if you don't remember Soccer Boppers, you never had a childhood.
You're weak.
Because they were basically just balloon boxing gloves, and they were humongous, and for children, they were just amazing to beat each other up with. Unfortunately, I never got the chance. For number 4, I went with the Game Boy camera. So before like smartphones and cell phone cameras and things like that, we had the Game Boy camera. It was trash, but it was cool when you were a kid. Number 3, Optimus Prime figure, but the Beast Wars version. Yes, the gorilla one, the orange one. Oh, it was so cool. It was so cool. And then number 2, Charizard Pokemon card, the original one. Because if you were in school and you didn't have a Charizard Pokemon card, you were a nobody. So, spoiler alert, I was a nobody throughout all of elementary school. And then for number 1, I'm going to go with the PlayStation. Because when I was a kid, I was on Sega and Nintendo. I didn't get a PlayStation until PlayStation 3.
Bro, do you remember how elite you were as a person of interest in school when you had a holographic Japanese Charizard card?
Oh, you couldn't beat it.
No, that was the equivalent of like winning the presidency.
You were automatically the most popular kid in school.
I think that your list makes sense, right? The Soccer Boppers to fight anyone who challenged you because you didn't have the Charizard Pokemon
Right,
card.
exactly, yeah.
It was just the chain of events.
I think
That's
we've
how
hit
you-
a breakthrough here.
It makes so much sense.
Connecting dots.
I want to just jump back for a second.
Uh-huh.
What's a Christmas miracle? Tell me what you were thinking.
What is that?
I
It's just
don't
something.
understand.
It's just something special. That
All right,
happens.
fine, it's whatever.
It's
It's
something
done.
cool.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. All right,
All right.
coming up next, we're going to tell you who we believe were the biggest winners and losers of 2019 in the nerd world with the first inaugural Nerd Awards.
Yeah, I can't say Game of Thrones wins best show. It's just a lie.
Just be quiet.
That's
Just be
right.
quiet.
Okay, well, we'll see you in 2 minutes. Bye. Hello, it's award show time, so I whipped out the bow tie. It's not even showing. Hold on.
Adorable.
Is
Way
that-
to take forever, man.
Thank you. All right, so the first ever Nerd Herd Awards. It's an attempt to recap the wild year in nerd culture. We here at the Nerd Herd will be handing out the remarkable achievements that have happened across the board in all media. Nobody but us is qualified to do this, by the way, so
Nobody.
don't do this. And I'm talking to you, IGN.
Talking to you.
Talking to you, IGN. All right, we start with the ceremony with the real upbeat award. biggest disappointment? Seamus, who do you have that hurt you the most this year?
For me, Fallout 76 hurt me the most. That was a train wreck of a launch. I think we can all agree that.
It's still a pretty bad, like, overall the game.
Yeah.
Like, even like revisiting and looking back at it, it's not good. I haven't seen anything that like really makes me go, oh, must have. Like, the base building thing, every game has that.
I love how they had a launch like cycle, and then they just got rid of it. They're like, yeah, no one's gonna play this anymore.
Games like that typically, they typically improve like they patch things that are bad with the game, but like games like that, there's always something bad with the game, and it's just they work on it, and then they give you like a finished product that's like okay. They just failed to do that with Fallout 76. I don't understand why
Yeah.
not.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not good.
So for me, the person who hurt me, the people who have hurt me, Game of Thrones, I waited 8 years. I waited most of the season until I gave up on you. I still watched every episode, but I gave up on you. You did such a bad job wrapping up what could have been the greatest show in the history of television, period. UK, American, Indian, Canadian, whatever. Globally, you blew it, and I can't forgive you for it.
Yeah, Game of Thrones
Yeah.
is terrible, terrible disappointment. Season 8. I don't even know if it's like worth watching.
It's not.
No, it's
No.
definitely not.
What's yours, bud?
Mine was Anthem. I thought that BioWare's attempt to basically carbon copy Destiny, which, spoiler alert, is a bad series as well. They just failed horribly at it. Like, you had 12 years. The last game you came out with was in 2007. 2007, and you came out with something in 2019 that was terrible. Nah, I'm all right, man. I'm good. I will never buy anything you ever make again.
BioWare?
Wow.
Didn't they have Mass Effect Andromeda? Not saying that that's like
Andromeda was
much better.
worse.
Yeah, it was pretty
Andromeda
bad
was
too,
worse.
though.
That wasn't 2007.
If that was them, I don't
Oh,
know if it was
yeah,
them.
BioWare.
It was them. All right,
Yeah,
now, a lot of what happens in nerd culture isn't just art. We have to give big credit to the big moments. I mean, any sort of moment announcement, stuff like that, that makes waves this year. And I'm going to start it off with Galaxy's Edge being built in both Disneyland and Disney World on both coasts. Literally building a planet in the Star Wars universe, putting a full-scale Millennium Falcon being able to fly the Millennium Falcon. That has literally been all I've ever wanted my entire life, and being able to do that, even though I don't have the money to do that, like the idea that it's available to me is the coolest thing in the world to me right now.
Yeah, I'll go eventually, but I mean, like, I don't like Disney at launch because, like, anytime there's a launch at Disneyland, it's just like a complete train wreck and trying to fight people to get to it. But eventually, I'll get down
See,
there.
I don't really do crowds like that. I'm not into playing people Jenga.
That's
I would
fair.
love to go.
I've never heard
but
that phrase in my life.
neither.
People Jenga?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not into it. Not a thing I'm into.
All right, Curtis.
So my pick is My Hero Academia, because the most recent 2 episodes have been amazing. Now, it's been a great manga, anime, what have you, for the last few years, but just the recent season has been amazing. Like, what they're doing with the characters and the development of them is just, how can you do it better?
For the longest time, I was like very against My Hero because I didn't want to get into it because it seemed like too stereotypically anime. And then eventually I got around to it. Oh, the show's so good. And
Yeah.
like, this new season's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All
All right.
It's your turn.
I know it's my turn. All right. For mine, of course, for the most hype moment of the year, it's Half-Life. It's Half-Life ALYX. It has to be. How could I not? I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I feel like I've said a lot. I'm going to say more. But Half-Life ALYX is going to be great.
I can't wait for it to be a mediocre game.
Watch it be just something that is just, it's like, what was it, Fallout 76? It's just terrible.
You know-
it's just absolute garbage put into digits.
You want to hear the funny part? The joke? I don't even have VR, and I can't afford it right now. So, we're gonna hope for the best.
Hey, man,
that's
you
the
know-
Christmas miracle.
Okay.
A VR headset.
All right. All right. There will be winners later, but we can't have winners without losers. Reading is hard, kids. All right.
Words are hard.
Who are your gentlemen's big losers of this past year? Curtis, again, we'll start with you.
My biggest loser is It Chapter 2. What a flub of a movie. I liked I liked the original 2. And then the remake, the first one, was good, but this most recent installation, awful.
We laughed the whole time.
Yeah, it was a comedy movie to me. I mean, I typically find horror movies or thriller movies as comedy regardless, but this was just dumb.
Yeah.
It was a stupid. It was like They took the first movie. They were like, we can make this cool, and then they were like, nah, we're not doing that.
Bill Hader was too funny to carry that role.
For sure.
So my losers, big losers, are David BEINOFF and DB Weiss.
Scrubs.
I bring your name up every show because you make me so mad.
Scrubs.
I stay up at night thinking about how you've hurt so many people. You ruined Game of Thrones, right? And then you had the option and ability to build a whole new saga and storyline in Star Wars, and you said no because you want to do a young adult novel adaptation for Netflix. If I see you on the street, it's on site. And that's a promise. In this shirt, Seamus.
All right.
Your turn.
Well, for losers, I'm going to say all of us gamers. I really feel like there's not too much to look forward to in the future besides, obviously, Half-Life Alyx. All the big games
I'd still hold my breath.
Yeah, me too. All the big games are, like, not really all that good. Like, what do we have to look forward to? Death Stranding didn't really pan out too well. I just think that, you know, in the future, we should deserve better games, and I think that a lot of the big studios are holding out to the new console generation.
How did Death Stranding do, by the way? Like, I haven't heard anything about it.
I haven't heard anything either.
Exactly.
I don't think it's doing well at all. It can't be.
Apparently, it's too hard for American audiences. So there's that.
They're superior. All right. So before we get to the big winners of the year, we should look back at the comeback kids of the nerd world, and I'm sure I'll be intrigued by your picks. Moose, what you got?
For me, the biggest comeback kid for the year has to be Minecraft. I'm actually kind of happy that Minecraft is existing still because I feel like it's one of those games that's timeless. You can continue it forever. And now it has ray tracing, apparently. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Polygonal ray tracing is one of the more important technological advances we've ever made.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a fact or not. That might be made up. I don't know. But for my pick, and I kind of feel it's similar to your pick because it's something that never really went away, but it kind of had like a recent boom. My pick is YODA because with the recent episodes of The Mandalorian, like, I don't think Yoda's been this popular since maybe like the prequel trilogy came out.
But it's weird because it's not Yoda.
Right, it's not Yoda, but because of the child, Yoda is back. Like, you're seeing Yoda everywhere now. I went to Country Max to pick up cat food the other day, and there was like Yoda dog toys. Oh. And I was like, what? Okay, all right, we're just throwing Yoda in people's faces these days.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Luminous beings are we, not this crude
He
matter.
still is probably the most famous of the Jedi.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
No.
All right, so for me, my pick, I know
it.
it's controversial, but Curtis can literally attest to this. No Man's Sky has pulled a complete 180, like a full turnaround. And it's because they listen to the people, right? So I played it when it first came out in 2016 or 2017. It was terrible. It was abysmal. I couldn't stand it. The color palette was awful. But then now is a totally different game. It's fully immersive. I'm fully pulled in, and it's cool. It's so cool that me playing it and the comeback trail has got Curtis ready to buy a copy, hard copy.
I wanted to get this game when it came out, but I'm one of those people that like waits and sees how things pan out, and I did that, and I was severely disappointed.
Yeah.
And now I'm not. Now I'm fully invested.
Oh, we're ready. Okay, so this time for the big one, the big kahuna. It's the big winners of 2019, and for me, there is no bigger winner in the world of nerd entertainment than Bob Iger. The dude has dominated, and his company has dominated too. But specifically, the fact that he has acquired Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Even thank you, by the way, for not doing any Indiana Jones stuff. We don't need it. We don't want it.
Correct.
But Star Wars, Marvel, he had Endgame, The Mandalorian, Disney Plus, a couple of other Marvel movies, and then a Star Wars movie, all coming out in the same year. For every other company, that's a lot, but you still are putting out another Pixar movie, Frozen 2, and a boatload of other stuff. Toy Story 4 came out this year. Robert, congratulations. God.
Going based off of what you're saying, my biggest winner of the year has to be The Mandalorian. For once, it finally feels like we're actually getting a good Star Wars, movie or game or book or whatever. For once, it actually feels like I'm happy with something. I look forward to seeing a Star Wars movie or show or anything. So I'm gonna say The Mandalorian is my biggest winner.
I love it.
Oh, it's such a good show
It's
too.
fantastic.
It's becoming like a tradition in our household.
Yeah.
Like every Friday, we'll sit down and watch The Child and The Mandalorian, or the Mando, do his thing.
I don't like saying that. It's dirty. It sounds dirty to me. I don't like it. But for my pick, I'm going with The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. And now, okay, I love Zelda, granted, but as a remake, there's a lot that could go wrong. You know, I mean, like, think about everything that's remade, like movies, games, what have you. I mean, a lot of times they end as an atrocity upon mankind. And this is not one of those things. This is it was very fresh.
Okay.
The graphics were great. There's a lot to like with this remade game. And I think that, you know, it's worth it.
Yeah, you played the tar out of it, and I loved every second of watching you do that. All right, coming up after the break, we're going to do our final lives. We'll see you then. It was warm. I had to shed again. All right, well, it's the final episode of the year, final installment of Final Lives. It's melancholy, but it's our goodbye to 2019. Curtis, what do you got for us, kid?
So, a lot of content from the Dragon Ball manga has been exposed online. And apparently the story picks up where the anime left off, with Goku and Vegeta linking up with the Galactic Patrol for some adventures. And from what readers are saying, there are a lot of good, fresh villains on the horizon, and some of the heroes get much-needed power buffs. But series creator and designer Akira Toriyama is taking a back seat in content development, and I'm glad that readers are happy with what his team has assembled. My only question is, when will we get an anime for him? Will I have to wait years for a new series, or will the stories be delivered in the film format we've grown accustomed to?
Well, for me, we just did those awards, and we talked about. It's easy to point out how bad the field is, but when we look at the losers and stuff, it's easy to forget the winners, and I think the winners made me more hopeful than anything else. I brought up No Man's Sky as a comeback winner because they really turned things around. When the game first released, it was a bummer. It was terrible, bland and colorless. There was just no point to it. But now, Hello Games has a really amazing piece of art on their hands, and it's because they listened to the people. And that's how we got Apex to be so good. Respawn listens, and I think that gaming, the studios are, in gaming, the studios are listening. They might not have as many good releases coming up, but at least they're listening and creating good ecosystems for us to do games in. And that's just a hair shy of a Christmas miracle, if you ask me.
Bringing up that Christmas miracle again. As for my final life, as alluded to in the Databank submission, I'm going to be talking about Valve and the life they blew into my heart, ready to love again. Though ALYX wasn't what most people were expecting, it shows that at least they're alive and well. Who knows what's next? Half-Life, or Left 4 Dead 3 or VR, Portal 3 or VR, dare I say it, a new game? It's killing me. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I know this isn't exactly Half-Life 3, but you know what? I'm just happy that Valve finally dusted off the cobwebs and got back to coding, and will hopefully give us experiences that we love and cherish. Rise and shine, Mr. Newell. Rise and shine.
I'm very, very, very excited for what 2020 is going to bring for us, because it feels like we're finally in a space where people who are like us, who care about these stories and these realms, are in charge of making them and are in charge of putting them out into the public. Whereas when we were kids, it was just a few people who cared. Like on Nintendo, it was like Mario, Spyro, like games like that. And then
it was a niche market back then.
Yeah, and then even still, like George Lucas was like, I mean, Indiana Jones wasn't praised as like this huge blockbuster, but it was huge for like when we were kids. So it's cool to see that that's the direction that we're going. So Fahu Dores, everybody.
Well, I mean, you kind of mentioned it earlier, though. Like, they're listening to their fan bases.
Yeah.
They're listening to community.
And that doesn't happen in almost any other field.
I was going to say, it's really prevalent with the Sonic trailer and how they completely refixed the entire movie just because of fan backlash.
All right. So thank you so much for watching this inaugural season of Nerd Herd. We hope you guys had as much fun watching as we had fun making this. On behalf of everybody involved, we want to wish a happy holidays to you, no matter your race, creed, species, or warrior class on League of Legends. We hope this season brings you joy.
We will see you back here next year. Happy New Year.
This is the way I have spoken.
That's all for us. Have a good night, guys.